Hey guys, so today's review is going to be on the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Now I'm really excited to do this review for you guys because it's been a really long time since I've invested money on makeup tools. I usually use my Sigma brushes, and the majority of the time I use my Real Techniques because since I started using it over a year ago, I completely fell in love with this brand. If you're not familiar with Real Techniques, they were created by Samantha Chapman and Nicola Chapman, if I'm not mistaken, which are two sisters who are makeup artists here in the UK, and they also have a channel which is called Pixiwoo, and I'll link it below because they're absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen any of their video tutorials, you will absolutely love them. They're very down to earth and they make amazing tutorials. Now, the sponge comes with a very interesting shape to me. It's oval, somewhat oval, it's flat on one side and slightly angled, and it's pointed on the other side, which I find really interesting. For you to be able to use this sponge, you can't use it dry. You have to wet the sponge, squeeze all the excess water, and then it will expand so you can use it for your makeup. Now, what I love about this sponge is the flat part. I use it for the flat surfaces of my face, like my forehead and my cheeks. I was going to say my face and my cheeks. I don't use this part that much on my nose, but I really like it how it blends my foundation. And it could be any foundation. It could be a thicker foundation and a foundation that has a bit of like a thin consistency. And the other part that really amazes me is how well it blends concealer. This pointed part blends concealer so well. It's not only because of the shape, it's also because the sponge is damp, and I think that the water that's in the sponge, or what's left in the sponge, helps the foundation to blend so much better, and the concealer as well. I love to use the pointed part also on the corners of my nose. I think it really blends the concealer very well in these areas instead of having to do it with my fingers, and also on the sides of my lips when I have a little bit of redness or dryness around here. This has completely replaced my brushes at this present moment because I just love the feeling of bouncing this on my face. It just feels like I'm massaging my cheeks as long at the same time that I'm applying my makeup. I find it really interesting. It also applies cream blush. So if you have any cream blush and you want to apply it on your cheeks, it applies really well and makes everything blend together. Now, from the price point, this is really affordable. It costs less than £6, and a lot of times when you go to Boots or Superdrug, there's a promotion going on where you buy 3 and you only pay for 2. So if you include that in those promotions, you will have a really good deal. Now, when it comes to washing, I've been looking at some reviews and nobody really says how they wash this sponge. And my thought of washing a sponge before I bought this, or when I actually bought it, was how am I going to do this? Because I always think about a sponge absorbing anything that you put inside, especially if it's soap. It's just going to absorb everything and you're going to try and squeeze it out, and it's not going to be completely loose of that. So I wasn't really sure how to do it, so I decided to just use baby shampoo or baby shower gel. That's what I actually use to wash my makeup brushes once a week, and it works really well. You can just apply it in the areas where you're using foundation or concealer and squeeze the sponge, do like this. You know, you can be rough with it and it will come out. I first use hot water and then I use cold water because over here our bathrooms, they have 2 tabs instead of having 1 mixer, so the hot water will start burning my hands. But first I use hot water and then I use cold water, and it works really well. It dries very quick, so you can actually wash it every time you finish applying your makeup. 24 hours, when you come back, it's completely dry. So overall, I love this product. I think it's going to be a staple in my makeup tool collection that I have. I love it. I think it's great for traveling. It's very small, so you can just put it in a little bag if you don't want to, you know, if it's wet and you need to leave the hotel or something like that really quick. But I think it's great for everyday use. My foundation and my concealer have never looked better. I find that when I use this sponge, it just makes my concealer and foundation become one with my skin. I'm sounding a little bit dramatic, but that's exactly how I feel every time I finish applying my foundation. I think, this product works amazing. I haven't used it today with the foundation I'm wearing because I'm trying out MAC Face and Body. So if you guys are interested in a review like that, please comment below. But because it's such a thin consistency, I think it's best to just use my hands or a stippling brush. I think this sponge will just absorb the whole product, and the foundation is so sheer that it's not going to give me any coverage if I use this. But overall, I love it. Highly recommend. And yeah, I absolutely love this sponge. So that is basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll speak to you guys on my next video. Bye!